603-8770 is the call-in number.
Mouth full of food.
Mouth full of foods. Toni and Griff show. I'm Griff.
I'm Toni.
In the studio.
Rashawn Ali.
Shanita Foster.
Wait, honey, right here.
Shanita Foster.
And Chris Stevenson.
So, talk about it Thursdays, and then behind Rashawn Ali, Shanita, and Crystal, got Kristen, Amber Pretty, Danny Lacey, Katrisa Turner, a.k.a. Cat, and Ayanna Moss. Jet Black is her nickname. Now, as the only man in this room full of 8 women, there's not no woman in this room darker than me. Maybe Rashawn, maybe Rashawn. No woman in this room is darker than me.
She held her hand up. She did.
Hell, she not darker than me.
You've been trying to make that point like since we first got on the radio together.
I've been saying, like, okay, so ladies, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna all let y'all tell. This is what I want to hear first. Tell us your first light skin, dark skin experience. When I was 7, this girl said, I want everybody to go through the room and say that first. Toni, you first.
I had stated before, my biggest experience was growing up. My grandmother is deeply from the South, from Alabama, and my mom is light skinned. So I always dealt with, because I was darker than her and my dad was dark. Once my grandma was like, yeah, your mom thought you was going to come here high yellow like her. She told me to give you away, and that stood out for a long time. So I only dated light-skinned people because I thought that was better. Okay. And the first light-skinned guy I dated was, seriously dated and had a baby by, it was the worst relationship I ever had.
Rashawn Ali.
Well, growing up, my father always told me I was pretty. He still calls me pretty. I'm 37 years old. He says, "What's up, pretty?" That's how we talk to each other when we talk on the phone or we're in person. But I think it was other people. It wasn't anything that my parents did or didn't do, because they did so much to instill those values in me. But growing up, you're so cute to be dark. And I used to think that was such a compliment. Like, oh, thank you so much. That means, other black people or other dark people are ugly. And then when I started to become a little bit more wise, and my mom used to stop people saying, don't say that.
Don't say that to my daughter. Right.
And a lot of that, I started to believe it. So when I got to college, here I am, a lot more chocolate than I'm not nearly as dark as I used to be, because I swam my whole life outdoors. I went to college with swimming scholarship, so I was so much darker. Y'all see pictures, you wouldn't even recognize me. So when I went to FAMU, I was like, nobody's going to want to talk to me. I'm dark skinned. Man, I got to FAM, and it was like, everybody was on. Damn, we doing it.
That's Rashawn Ali.
That's fine.
Crystal Stevenson, tell us your first dark skin, light skin.
Well, as far as I can remember, I'm from Detroit, and Detroit is 97% black.
Detroit is in the building.
Detroit is definitely in the building, but Detroit is 97% black. So to get to a class and you be the lightest person first of all, I'm the lightest person before I leave my house. I'm the lightest person in my family, and then get to school and be the lightest person in the room. I was the white girl.
Oh, they made you the white girl. I got.
And it wasn't a compliment. It wasn't a thing that anybody was jealous of. It was like, shut up, white girl.
Okay.
And, to get home, and my parents are cooking chitlins and, watching Amen, but I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to be learning how to be white from.
Okay.
And then to move down south is like a whole different, it's like a culture shock. It's like, everybody loves what I was taught to hate.
Shanita, that was deep.
That was deep.
Shanita Foster.
Am I black? No, I'm joking. I didn't realize who I was until I got older. When I was a kid, actually, from Detroit, but I was middle class, played volleyball, so I was around white people
most of the time.
And so I remember a quick story. I came home one day and I wanted to wear my hair down. And, when you ethnic, you got to wear your hair in the ponytails with the braids and don't come home without a barrette missing. So I came home one day and I was like, can you make my hair yellow? And my mom was like, what do you mean? I said, I want it yellow so I could wear it down. I didn't get the correlation that, their hair was a different texture. So that was my first little experience. But I didn't understand that it was an issue, dark skin, light skin, until I got older.
Okay.
Because I was always around, volleyball players and stuff like that. But they dogged me once I got older, And shout out to the parents who was like, my son is dating the closest thing to white. I am not white.
Oh yeah, I definitely.
So I get that a lot. The parents are like, oh, he want to be with a white girl, so he dating her. So if they don't want you to date somebody white and you come home with a light skinned girl, it's still bad, because it's like, hey, she dating a light-skinned person. She's white.
My first boyfriend's mother told him in front of her, and don't bring a white girl in my house.
Yeah, I'm the
This
white
is
girl.
adults.
I'm the white girl, just so you know.
As adults said that.
Adults.
We
We
wanna-
got a 16-year-old that said, "Oh yeah, don't bring that white girl in my house."
We
Like,
wanna-
so I had to stay in the car.
We want to get the rest of the women out. Tell us your first experience. What's your name, baby?
What's up, Denny Lacey?
And what was your first experience?
Well, I'm from Los Angeles.
West Side!
West Side, where all women are beautiful, light, dark. Because it's like a culture thing out there. You know, you could be bohemian, you could be mixed.
Filipino.
I moved to Atlanta with my family, and I did go to high school here for, you know, a short period of time. And I was discriminated just with darker skinned girls in Atlanta. And, you know, that was a different experience coming from LA where, you know, everyone is embraced. You can be light, mixed, whatever. And to be hated on by darker skinned girls in Atlanta was just like, you know, weird to me because Atlanta's supposed to be like the mecca for African Americans. So, you know, I was quiet in high school, but I was always voted most popular, you know, prettiest. When I was quiet, I had no friends. But I was voted in these categories because of what I look like. So to me, that was a problem. It was like fake, but, you know.
She's so California. She got the real silver spoon accent. Valley girl. Sweetheart, Valley girl.